and I would like to thank you all for being so much patient. My name is Kamlesh Patil, and I would like to welcome you all to the Android Study Jams. This session is the first of many. This is a session where we'll be having introduction to Android Study Jams and Kotlin. I'm looking forward to have an amazing and interactive session with you all. Hoping you all would enjoy the session. With that being said, let's dive in. What are Android Study Jams? Android Study Jams are community organized study groups for people to learn how to build Android apps using an online training course. So, to sum it up, we can say that Android Study Jams are nothing but a bunch of people trying to study together a new technology. Correct. But I would like to thank Google for allowing us to do this. Google has provided the resources and courses to all the students. And I would also like to thank the DSC, DYPCOE for letting us organize this Android study jams. To get started, there are two tracks for Kotlin app development. The first one is new to programming, and another one is having a prior programming experience. In new to programming, there might be a people from another departments or another year of engineering. They might not know on how to programming. For them, this is the best track for them, new to programming. And another track is prior to programming experience. There might be people who have had experiences on Java, C, C++, or Python, or any another object-oriented programming languages. So they can get started on this track as well. So the first track is new to programming track. Learn the basics of Android app developments with Kotlin programming language and develop a collection of simple apps to start your journey as an Android developer. What are the prerequisites? Basic computer literacy and basic math skills. All that you need to get started on the new to programming track is just basic computer literacy and math skills. The curriculum that we will be using for this track is has been provided by Google, and there will be total of 6 pathways. And in each pathway, there are 3 to 4 tracks, 3 to 4 tasks. In new to programming track, we will have this track, this courses. All of them, their titles will be like this: Android to Kotlin, create your first Android app, do the basic layout, and there is also description to those tracks, pathways, and there is an estimated time that it will take for each and every one of you to complete that pathway. Not necessarily 1 hour. Those who can, those it is a self-paced lab, so it means that you can perform this task as many times as you want and for as long as you want. And after each of these, you will earn these badges. Then, so the introduction to Kotlin. For those who does not know what Kotlin is a program object-oriented programming language which is based upon Java. Java used to be mainly used for Android app development and software development, but at Kotlin has came really long way and grown a lot. Then in the second part, learn to install and create your first mobile app on Android Studio. Then the third pathway is basic app layout. So you all know that there are apps. They have multiple screens. All those screens can be categorized under layouts. In the fourth pathway, you will learn how to add a button to each of your screen and add functionalities to the buttons. So then there is fifth pathway. The fifth pathway is for getting user input. Obviously, your app could not be just one way. it can be dynamic as well. So to add this dynamicness to your app, you need to get an input from the user. For example, if you want to text somebody on WhatsApp, you need to type in the message that you want to send, and then that message will be sent. Correct? For that, you need the user input. Then there is display the scrollable list. When you enter the WhatsApp, there are multiple chat threads and multiple text messages that does not fit your screen single-handedly. So for that purpose, you can have multiple messages and multiple text in a single screen via scrolling. Then the second track is prior programming experience track. First, learn the essentials of Kotlin programming language, then learn the fundamentals of Android app development and best practices by building the variety of Android apps in Kotlin. For this track, the prerequisites are prior programming experience in an object-oriented programming languages. As I said earlier, any object-oriented programming language will do. It could be either Python, Java, C, C++, or any other. Then you also need to familiar how to use an IDE. IDE is nothing but IDE is nothing but a program where you enter your code and it executes your code. So and then the third prerequisite is familiar with. So many of you might not know GitHub is a source control version tool. On this, you can store multiple versions and source codes of your application or anything else. GitHub is an open source platform where you can store your projects. So you also need to know how to use GitHub and Git basically. In prior programming experience tasks, there are total 11 pathways. The first one is pre-work, so it does not consider. Excluding that, there are total of 10 pathways. In the first pathway, which is pre-work. In pre-work, the name of pre-work is Kotlin Koans. If you do not know what Kotlin is, you can just go through that. So in that pathway, you will understand the data types and how to use Kotlin, how to print a message, and basic stuff of Kotlin. It is an optional track. Not necessarily you will have to perform it. If you know what Kotlin is and you know the basics of Kotlin, you can just skip it and you can move further towards the first pathway. Each pathway consists of 3 to 4 or more labs. Each lab can have a task of like 15 to 20 minutes or even half hour. In first pathway, you will understand how to build your first app, which is nothing but Hello World. Then in the second pathway, build an interactive app. There will be this search interactive apps taking like 1 hour, 2 hour, or half hour. And while completing each pathway, you will earn badges. Similarly, navigation, activity, and fragment life cycles, architecture components, databases, and recycling. These are nothing but concepts of Kotlin programming language and Android app development concepts. So, in order to develop apps, you need to know these concepts. And step by step, pathway through pathway, you will understand how the Android app lifecycle works. Which is why it is necessary for you to complete all these 10 pathways and earn all 10 of these badges. It can take, if it is a self-paced labs, you can perform this as many times as you want and for as long as you want. There are no time constraints. These are just the suggestions or on an average how much time it might take. So the prerequisites to complete this any of these tracks are basic computer literacy. You need to know how to use a computer, how to use browsers, how to use peripherals of computer. Then there are basic math skills, mathematical problems such as just arithmetic. For example, how much should be the length of an app, what content, what layout should be placed in which platform. So for that you might need to use your math skills such as additional division, such as etc. So and you also need computer and headphones. While there are another videos and instructions in code labs, so you wouldn't want to disrupt your neighboring people, right? So for that, you may need the headphones, and computer is necessary to install the Android Studio. Assuming you are in right place, here are some prerequisites that will be helpful for this track. Having basic computer literacy and math skills is recommended. You will also need the computer access to internet to take the online courses. After this short presentation, we'll all be working independently on this course. So use headphones to play in the videos so it doesn't disturb the others around you. It's also helpful if you have an Android device so you can test your app. Android device is an optional because there is an emulator on your Android Studio, but not necessarily every time you install it because it's very huge and large to run on a normal PC. So let's talk about what will you learn as a part of this new to programming track of study, chaps. First and foremost, the goal is to the goal is for you to build your first Android apps. To do this, you will install Android Studio on your computer, which is an application to build Android Studio, Android apps. Along the way, you will be exposed to programming concepts and the Kotlin language. At the end, we'll also talk about the resources on how you can continue learning building apps beyond this event as well. Learning objectives are nothing but creating your first app, installing and setting up the Android Studio on your computer, learning the basics of Kotlin programming language, and discover resources to continue learning further even beyond this session. So, after this event, I will be sharing you the link to this landing page. This is nothing but the official page of Google developers from Google itself. At on this page, you can find the basic course for anyone to. All these courses are free of cost. Anyone can participate these courses and earn these badges. The course is made up of units, and units are comprised of pathways. In this track, we will be focused on the first unit, which is shown here. It has made up of 4 pathways. In session 1, you will work on the first 3 pathways: Introduction to Kotlin, build your first app, and build a basic layout. In session 2, you will work on the fourth pathway, which is a little longer. So, these are the pathways. You may be wondering, what is a pathway? It is an ordered sequence of activities to learn a specific skill. An activity can be a video, hands-on coding, tutorial, known as CodeLab. CodeLab is a platform where you will be performing all these sessions. All these activities are meant to help you reach the learning objectives of this by the end of this pathway. So these are the objectives, and this is the pathway, and these are the labs that you will need in order to take in order to complete the pathway. Just a minute. Okay. So at the end of every pathway, there is a quiz to test your understanding. There is a quiz at the end of each pathway to check your understanding of what you have just learned. Here's what a simple quiz looks like. There are no limits to the number of retries for a quiz. But if you get a wrong question, try to understand the concepts of it, even if you need to look back at the source material again before answering again. which means you can attempt the quizzes as many times as you want. If you do not seem to find the answer, you can just go back to the resources. You can just go back to the previous labs as many times as you want. There are no constraints for that. After completing each the pathway, you will earn badges like this. These badges can be displayed over your Google's developer profile. That is a beta program that I will be showing you after this event. This is how the developer profile looks. This is you, your name, and your badges that you have earned throughout this code lab sessions. The badges you earn can be saved to your developer's profile. When you are taking the course, be sure to sign in and create a developer profile if you haven't already. It's a very quick to create.
You're not audible.
Hello.
Yeah, now you're audible.
So where did you guys leave me?
Last slide.
Okay, sorry. So Kotlin programming language. In this course, we will be learning on how to use code in Kotlin. Kotlin is a programming language that you will be using to build your Android apps. Kotlin is a more modern and popular programming language known for the helping developers to be more productive. Kotlin allows you to be more concise when writing your code, as and you can write a safer code that's less prone to errors. Kotlin came around in around 2016 or 2017. It has been really popular ever since. Kotlin is a later version of Java. Not precisely a later version of Java, but it is based upon Java. Just a minute. As a result of many great language features, Kotlin has quickly gained momentum in the industry. It is reportedly one of the fastest growing programming languages according to the GitHub survey, and ranked at the number four most loved programming language among the developers according to the 2020 survey of Stack Overflow. Pathway one of the course is focused on helping you understand the basics of Kotlin. To make it easier for you to learn, you will be writing your own code in Kotlin Programming Playground. What is Kotlin Playground? Kotlin Playground is nothing but a web-based compiler where you can easily make changes to your code or enter any sort of code for the Kotlin programming language and get the output instantly without having to set up an immense anything. This is how your Kotlin Playground looks. Whenever you write the code, immediately you get the output around here. The site looks something like this. You can write your code in this window and hit the green arrow to run it. The result of your arrow, could known as the output, will be shown around at the bottom of the window. Just as you can see, without having any prior knowledge, you can see fun. It stands for function. Main, it's a main function. Then println means print the line. Whatever written between these lines will be printed on the output. Without any prior knowledge, you can easily understand that. Sorry guys, just a moment.
Guys, if you have any doubts, you can use our chat section to post your queries. And also you can see an option to raise your hand. So while we head over to our Q&A section, you can raise your hand and then unmute yourself and ask your queries if you have any. Like we'll be doing that towards the end of the session. Till then, you can use our chat box to post your questions and we'll answer them as soon as possible.
Here in Kotlin Playground, you can enter the code, you can modify the code, or you can just copy paste another code to here and execute it. Playground stands play as the name suggests the playground. Playground means you can play around with the code. You can modify it as you want. For example, there is written hello world in the print line statement, right? So you can just change it to hello your name, hello world, hello programming language, hello Kotlin to anything else.
There's some network problem at Kamlesh side, I guess. So we can wait for a minute so that we can join.
Thanks everyone for being patient.
Is the slide visible?
Yes, it is Akash. Thanks a lot.
Oh,
Okay. So, as I said earlier, in the first pathway, we'll be just understanding how the basics of Kotlin programming languages, and we will be performing those tasks on Kotlin Playground. In the second pathway, we will be using the official tool for Android app development, which is Android Studio. Android Studio is the product of Google itself. You use the Google Android Studio to build the Android apps. Here is how it looks. Then proceeding further to in the second pathway itself, there is another topic that is Android emulator. Android emulator creates a simulation of a virtual Android device on your cell phone, on your or a laptop. On an emulator, you can test your apps, or debug, or run them itself. Next slide. In the third pathway, we will be understanding the user interface, the part of your app where the user interacts with it. For example, suppose you are using WhatsApp. How do you use WhatsApp? You simply open the WhatsApp and you see a screen visible on your. You see a bunch of tools visible on your screen. That is nothing but the user interface. User interface is the buttons, the images, the text, and everything. Next one. Layouts. Layouts are nothing but the way you are putting your apps. You might have noticed in some apps the buttons are on the top, while as in tablets the buttons might be on the below. That is nothing but how you wish to represent your app. Layouts help you represent your apps in the way you want them to be. You can have multiple components in a single screen using the right layout. Layouts could be like vertical, horizontal, grid, table. Next slide. In the third pathway itself, you will also understand the views: text view, image view, buttons. Text view is nothing but representing a text on your screen. Image view, similarly, you will be showing an image on your screen. And buttons are the one that interact. We can click on the button to submit the information, to retrieve the information, to do any particular task. So let us get started. Now we have seen how does the code labs look, how does the uh, how to do everything, how to what are we going to understand. So the unit one pathways. In this session we will be going through unit one pathways 1 to 3. In the first session, sorry, next slide. Akash, can you open this side?
My screen is visible, right?
Yes, it is. Thanks.
Okay.
Uh, So, as you can see, this is the landing page where you can find the courses. These courses are developed by Google itself, and they are constantly up to date and ready. So, as I said earlier, you can find there are two tracks. The first one is, and another one is prior programming experience. So, if you are a beginner who does not have any basic language, so just move on to the course that is new to Perl. Understand? There can be another scenarios as well. You have done you have done Android app development, but not in Kotlin itself. You might know the basics of Java or Python or anything. So you can take the Kotlin Koans, which is in the second track, the first pathway. That is start Kotlin Koans. But there might be scenario where you already know the basics of Kotlin as well. So that is an optional. You can just proceed further and start the course of prior programming experience. But for this session, we will be starting the course of YouTube programming. In this course, you will be going through the basics of Kotlin, the basics of any programming language. Here there are total two units, and within those, respectively, there are total six pathways, and each pathway works a single badge. Whenever you complete a pathway, you will receive a badge. Akash, you can proceed with the first click, the first badge on the unit. Here, see, in the unit one, there are total four pathways. Each pathway has three activities, four activities, three activities, and that activities might take an hour or less than that as well. So, Akash, can you proceed with the first one? That is Android Basics for Introduction to Kotlin. Play that video on the full screen.
Uh, is the voice audible? Like the video's voice?
No,
Can
it's
you
not.
get a question? Let me check.
Okay, let it be. Uh, Whenever the people register, they can watch it as many times as they want. So,
Oh,
as you can see, in the first pathway, total there are four activities, two of which are optional. This video is for you to get introduced to this session. Right? Then then in the second activity as well, there is a video. Akash, you can proceed with the third activity. That is nothing but write your first programming Kotlin. As you clicked on take your first Kotlin, you just reach to this side. As on this side, you have to you can read the instructions, the manual, the information. Here you can find the prerequisites, objectives, what you will build, what you will be needing, and then you can proceed further by clicking the next. As you can read the instructions, there is a code editor. So web-based code editor. As I said earlier, the name of that code editor is Kotlin Playground. Akash, will you be able to open that link in the next tab? When you click on that link, you will be redirected towards this Kotlin Playground. This is a virtual web-based Kotlin compiler. Here you can write the code, execute it, then modify it, and then compile it again. Here you can write hello Android and then execute it. Voila, the output's right there. Once you understand that, you can move back and modify the program, do all these tasks. You can extend the program, print more than one messages. Then you can find the solution code. In order to complete the lab, you have to complete each section. Read the summary. And if you want more resources, you can find the resources in the learn more section. Then practice on your own. There are instructions and assignments for you to practice on your own. See, when you completed your first lab, you immediately got this pop-up saying that you just earned your first code lab. You can click on view your developer profile. Google developer profile is an beta program just recently curated by Google itself. The developer profile is a place where you can showcase your badges. As we are seeing right now, we can see Akash's profile. Here there is all these profile links and stuff, all these badges that he have earned until now. So, developer profile on developer profile you can showcase your skills, learn your skills.
should I go to the slides, Kamlesh, or is
Uh,
there anything for this code lab?
you can complete the code lab and then there is a quiz as well.
Okay, so now this code lab is completed, I guess, right?
Yes, but then there is another activity as well. The fourth one, create a button message
Okay.
in Kotlin.
Yeah. Sure. I'll do it.
Here the participants can find all those instructions and manuals that you might need to perform these labs. You can understand the syntax by going through these labs. That syntax is there has to be a main function. The function can be defined by using the fun syntax. Then there has to be an opening and closing curly brackets within which your all your instructions would lie. If you want to print multiple statements, you can use the multiple println command. After each sections, there are recaps, summaries for you to keep track of everything. There is nothing to be overwhelmed. You can take as long as you want. There are no time constraints and no eligibility, so that you can take the courses as many times as you want until you understand it. Then there is a solution code of what you just have understood. Akash, can you go back to the sixth? So, in previous five sections, we have understood that there are, we just understood the syntax, what you have to do, what changes you need to make. And at the end, in the sixth tab, we found the solution code, how it should be, what changes should you make, how your final code should look like. We have made multiple functions such as print cake bottom, print cake top. We have passed the values through brackets, that is age int, age number, age layers. But as you might have seen, the main function remains constant in each and every program. Main function defines where your code starts from, and then on the second line there is a val. Val means variable, value variable in age is equal to 24. It means the variable age we are assigning the value 24, and the layers we are assigning the value of 5. Then we are defining the methods and then calling them as well. And then in the bottom, as you can see that there are individual functions with the keyword fun. In each function, we are defining the body of the function. Next step, troubleshooting. There might have been some scenarios there might have been some issues that you might have faced. You can use the troubleshooting tab to clear those issues, resolve those issues. Next, Akash. So all that we have understood throughout this activity, we can just summarize by reading this. If you want to proceed further and learn more about these activities, you can find the resources in this tab. You can just go through all these links and read the description and understand what the results are.
Shall
Yes,
I go back to the previous page, Kamlesh?
yes, you can click on the button.
Okay.
And now that we have performed these activities, the quiz waits for us. When we complete the quiz, we will get the badge. We will be earning the badge. Akash, you can take the quiz. So there are no constraints. Nobody fails this exam. You can try as many times as you want. The questions are pretty basic. What is a program? There are four options: a specific task, tool, instructions, and everything. But you have to guess. But trust me, we do not have to guess. We know the answers because we have just recently gone through them. As Akash has selected the right answer, that is a series of instructions that computer system executes to accomplish some actions. And then the keyword used to define function is fun. Correct. Now there are multiple choice questions as well. Which of the following do you need to create a Kotlin programming language, Kotlin program that prints a line of text? Do we need commands? No, commands are optional. We need a main function, it is a necessity. We need println to print the statements. We need curly braces to define where our program starts from and where it ends. So last four statements are correct. A quotation mark is also needed. Then the fourth question would be there is a code snippet. In the code snippet, you can see there are two println statements. So the question is how many lines of text will be printed? As you can see, there are only on two println statements, so only on two lines of text will be printed. How would you modify this main program function so that it prints six layer of cake for somebody's fourth birthday? So as you can see, there is a code and there are two variables. One is age and another is layers. There are already predefined values to it. That those are nothing but 24 and 5 respectively. In order to make it a six-layer cake for somebody's whose fourth birthday it is, you can just change the values of age to 4 and layers to 6. But there is a catch. Akash have selected the wrong answer because we do not have to put the quotation marks. Because quotation marks define that whatever value we are putting will be inserted as a string, and computer will not understand it because the computer will be expecting an integer value. Then there is a function called create message. In that message, there are three variables required. Which three would you be passing? The first one is name string. It's expecting string, so it should be in double quotes. The another one is location. Location is also expected to be strings. So it is also expected to be in double quotation marks. And then there is int, that is age. Integer does not need to be in double quotes. So it should be directly only on a number. So which do you think, Akash, is the correct answer? No, the England does not have double quotes. It is also supposed to be an integer. It is also supposed to be a string. If you do not use the double quotes, it will just the computer will just assume that you are passing. There is no variable England, so it will run into a problem error. Now we can submit the answers. Now Akash has earned another badge. He can just go back to his next pathway, or he can visit his profile to see the badges that he has just earned. As I said earlier, developer profile is a beta program by Google to showcase the badges that you have earned. Similarly, you can perform all the other pathways and earn as many badges as you want. But there is a catch. In the first, as I said earlier, you will receive a certificate. But in order to eligible for that certificate, you need to complete the second track, not necessarily the first track. If you already have a programming experience, you can just go to the second track and complete the whole second track, where there are only on 10 pathways. But if you are new to programming, I would highly recommend you do both tracks. That is new to programming and then prior programming experience as well. Akash, you can go back to the session, presentation. So we just we just have earned our first batch, and we can proceed further to do so in all the sessions. Since we can here conclude right now, and you can share these achievements with all your friends on social media using the hashtags Android Study Jams, hashtag PSC DYPCOE. So now we will be moving further to Q&A. Stay tuned for the second session, which will be on next Saturday. Before that, the Q&A session. The requirements, system requirements to run the Android Studio on your laptop, those requirements would be having minimum of 4 gigabytes of RAM so that it can run. But 8 gigabytes are recommended highly, or more would be amazing. And any another OS that could be like Linux, Mac OS, or Windows, it will work fine. Having minimum of 2 gigabytes of free space on your PC, 500 MB for your SDK, and 1.5 gigs of memory for emulator and all other necessary files. If there are no more further questions, we can proceed further and conclude this. Thanks a lot. Thanks everyone. It was a great session. Akash, can we conclude?
Yes, Kamlesh, we can now continue.
Akash, code lab links.
Yeah, just a
Yeah,
minute. I'll share.
share those links and a registration link as well. You can find those both in the bottom of this same slide. Okay. All of you have to register on both these links to proceed further.
We'll also be sending an email with which will contain both these links. So don't worry if you miss out these links right now. We'll be sending them via email as well. And hope all your doubts are cleared in this session. And if you have any doubts, you can reach out to Kamlesh. He's the campus facilitator for our Android Study Jam. And also these sessions will be scheduled every week on every weekend on Saturday. So the next session will be on next Saturday, and the coming sessions will be on the following Saturdays as well. So we'll be completing the part which is explained in the code labs in the sessions as well. So need not to worry if you are stuck somewhere. We are always there to help you. So you can start doing the code labs, and if you have any problems or if you face any difficulties, you can reach out to Kamlesh as well. And after you fill the form, you will get a link to join a WhatsApp group. So you can join there, and if you have any doubts related to the code labs or regarding the installation procedure of Android Studio or any other stuff related to Android, you can ask on that group, and we'll be happy to clear all of your doubts there. So hope this was an informative session and it cleared most of your doubts. And we can then uh, see you guys in the next session. Is it okay,
And one
Kamlesh?
more thing, Akash.
Yeah, one. Yeah, yeah, sure.
One more, and all of the people can register anytime between 25th November to 25th January. Between these 2 months of time period, anybody can register themselves for free, and there are no time constraints. You can finish this labs 5th January. This will not take 2 months. Those are just the timelines set for you. You can just share this with all your friends to register whenever they are free. I know there might be exams in upcoming months, but these are at your convenience because these are self-paced labs, and you can perform this as many times as you want, whenever you want. Thanks, Arun.
Okay, so Kamlesh, I guess we can conclude for the today's session, right? Okay, thank you guys for coming to the session and attending. And thank you, Kamlesh, for delivering this wonderful session. And we hope to see you all there. Uh, okay, I thought someone was having doubt. Okay, so thank you guys. We can now disperse.